up? It's Dave here from Metal Epidemic. I'm in Glasgow with Jimbob from Silverburn. How are you doing, my man?
Hey man, good. I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well
Good.
indeed. You guys are out on tour with High on Fire just now throughout the UK. Done a couple of dates already.
Yeah.
London, was it sold out, wasn't it?
Yeah, London sold out, was killer. Manchester sold out, was killer last night, and here we are in Glasgow. So
Nice.
we'll see how it's pretty much sold out tonight from what I hear.
Cool. Nice.
So yeah, very lucky to be on this tour.
Yeah, for sure. And just the two bands on the tour. Does that give you a bit of kind of longer set time then, just with the kind of two bands?
Yeah. We're playing our full record every night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's a treat. Looking
Yeah.
forward to that then. That must make the set picking much easier. then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have to do much prep for something like this, for a tour of this kind of size with a band like High on Fire? I know you just did Desert Fest just in May, so were you already kind of primed and kind of ready to go?
Yeah,
or
sure.
Do you spend a bit of time?
Yeah, I mean, there's always, pretty much regular band practice and keeping on top of it all. We did a couple of shows with Crowbar in March as well. So we're in good, fully functioning prime kill mode, attack mode.
Yeah, nice. So looking good. Looking forward to this evening. So your recent album came out last year. Self-induced transcendental annihilation.
Yes, you got it.
I struggled with that on the review. I really did. We obviously loved it. Loved the album. It was killer. I think the one thing that really kind of blew our minds about the album was it was done by like one person basically.
Yeah.
Had you ever kind of tackled something of that magnitude on your own before, or
No. It was the first time. It
Oh, wow.
was lockdown kind of dictated.
Right.
My I had realizations that I really needed to pull my finger out with a lot of the home recording software, the digital side of things, and then a few more pennies dropped. I bought a few different bits of equipment, and it just led on to the demoing. So I spent a year demoing the whole album at home.
Yeah.
And even though I'm known as a guitarist frontman,
Yeah.
ultimately I'm a songwriter too. And I do have a drumming background.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
the whole purpose of the album really was actually like a learning project.
Yeah.
As I said, with the recording side, but also with the drumming in of itself. And so all of the songwriting actually stems from my own drumming ideas. But instead of like with my previous bands where I would at least heavily suggest what my drummers did for what the song or the part required, this time round I got to articulate my own drum ideas in a far more detailed way. So a year of demoing then led on to a year of drum practice. So I took my kit down every weekend to record, practice, play through all the demo tracks non-stop, very strict, committed practice sessions.
Yeah.
And then that led on to the studio time where I recorded every instrument for real in a real studio with my drum kit right there.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's a real organic, gnarly solo album.
Yeah.
My previous bands were not quite as hard-edged, Taint and Hark. So it was fun to explore some of my gnarlier influences and get a bit more chugs. But all three bands have got a certain amount of shared DNA.
Yeah.
With the songcraft, people seem to focus on a lot of the tempo changes that I tend to write with.
Right. Okay.
So it seems to be part of my thing or whatnot.
Yeah, I actually hadn't listened to Taint until after we did the review of the Silverburn album, but then when I heard it, I could hear little bits of connective tissue between that band and Silverburn. Yeah, it was cool to hear.
Yeah.
I think like the album sounded, I think we mentioned it on the review, like it sounded like a full band, that was when we heard it, like this is one guy that's put this whole thing together. That was amazing, like just the sound of it was incredible. I didn't realise that you had like a kind of background in drumming and stuff as well. Did you play in other bands, drums wise, or?
No, I just used to play
own
around on and off. I actually, the first tour I ever did back in 2002 was filling in on the drums for the Dukes of Nothing, which were dudes from Acrimony, Iron Monkey,
nice.
Orange Goblin. So that was the only tour I ever did as a drummer.
Yeah.
And so when I had all these, like realizations in the lockdown situation, I thought it was like a now or never opportunity to start drumming and have something to really drum for.
Yeah.
Because I was very burned out from the end of my last band, Hark. And it felt like it's just been a big rebuilding process for me in of itself as well. I wasn't interested in collaborating with anybody. I've got tons of drum ideas all the time. I beatbox my drum ideas into my phone, and then I tap them in organically into my software, a little bit of editing. But I don't use quantization. I don't write songs to a grid. That's why the tempos are organically shifting all the time, and that feeds in heavily as to why, as you said, the album sounds like it's a real band in a room, because I haven't written it to a grid. There's a big difference, you know.
For sure.
I'm all about the ebb and the flow and the push and the pull and the swing and the shifting of the meter of the drums, and
so it sounded incredible. Production was also something that we kind of commented on as well. And
you did.
Just like such an album that has so much character in the production. It reminded me of a lot of kind of 90s kind of albums. There's some kind of tones from that era. Was that kind of purposefully done, or just naturally kind of happened?
Only because that's what I wanted to hear.
Okay.
Because that's, I'm a late 80s into the 90s kid, really.
Yep.
And then, of course, into the 2000s. So that's where all my favorite music comes from. I mean, give or take, I love some 70s shit and whatever as well. But it's that production value for the record is absolutely, it was important. It was as important to me as any other aspect of the album. And my producer, Gethin Pearson, a friend here back home in Wales, he knew what I wanted. I know how to articulate to him exactly what I wanted. And then, of course, he certainly had his skills and his input, of course, as well. But, in some ways, it's kind of a mutual effort. But I knew I needed it to sound the way that it sounds.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Thank you.
And you were just talking before we started recording there, obviously you do tattooing as a kind of profession. Did you do like artwork and stuff as well? Was that something you handled for the album as well?
So the album cover, that's my first digital painting, because again, it was such a learning project. I knew I wanted to do a digital painting for the first time. All the video work, the video, social media content, the promo video stuff as well. I made all of that stuff myself as well, doing all the crazy green screen and CGI software stuff, which is a lot of fun. As you said, I do tattooing, and I've done illustration as well for like the last probably 15 odd years. So it's a lot of high detail, pen and ink dot work, digital coloring. I've worked with my long-term old friends and mentors, Clutch, many, many times. Very lucky to say that every time. Many commissions for Clutch, one or two for Mastodon. Red Fang. I did a shit for High on Fire a few years ago. We might do another one soon, actually. So spinning different plates.
Enjoy being creative. Sounds like very much. I noticed on your, I think it was your Instagram or something like that, you posted that maybe the end of the year, start of the year, that you'd started demoing kind of new material. You had a few tracks that you kind of demoed so far. Is that number increased by now, or
not? Just I have 3 new tracks.
Okay.
And they're just as gnarly, and it's a logical continuation from Self-Induced.
Okay.
I'm very happy with the songs as a whole. And I've got tons of, as I say, everything kind of comes from the drumming ideas first. So I will definitely be getting like another 3 tracks or maybe 4 done by the end of this year.
Okay.
And then, I want to get 8 or 9 new songs. And then, but the cool thing now is that I get to start my drum practice sooner.
Right.
Because I already know how my process works and how I layer my approach to you know, write a couple of demo tracks, start practicing the drums for those, and then just build my journey that way.
Right,
if you see what I mean.
Yeah. Does the ideas ever come up in the kind of rehearsal space as well, where there's things come together, or is it always
my rehearsal space is in my head?
Okay.
Because I write everything at home.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I'm not bouncing off anybody else because it's just me. It's a solo thing.
Yeah.
So,
It's more difficult being just doing everything yourself, or do you prefer it?
In some ways, it's a lot easier.
Is it? Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, the more I've thought about this stuff since the record's been out, etc., and I have conversations with different people, and one or two friends have said, "Oh, but you're going to get the live guys to record the next album with you." I'm like, no, because I'm writing everything, I'm performing everything. There's almost like a presupposition that writing democratically is the better option, but I don't see why it should be the better option. If you have a strong enough vision, and if you're as, I don't know, blessed and cursed in different ways as I seem to be, then it is what it is. You know, some people like to do the dishes with their left hand. I like to make an album on my own. It's the same difference. That's a ridiculous analogy, I know, but I hope that kind of makes some sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, when it sounded as good as it did on the last album, then why wouldn't you continue
Yeah,
with that?
well, you know, I enjoy it, and I've got a huge bank of drum riffs that I've beatboxed into my phone, so I can just pluck drum ideas and then start building the songs. And yeah.
Nice. So obviously you're on tour with High on Fire just now. After this, I know you've got like a day festival in June at some point. Is that right?
Back in Swansea, our hometown, out the band's hometown. Swansea, we'll play with Discharge and Raging Speedhorn and a few other bands.
Yeah, and then after that, you got much planned for the rest of the year?
We'll see what opportunities may arise. It would be nice to jump on another tour before the end of the year. Yeah. So we'll see what we can cultivate. Yeah. But you know, as for the live band, the guys, you know, they're fully on board. I feel very lucky to have such a killer drummer, Adam, killer bass player, Ross. They fucking nail it every night. Yeah. It's been a fun and, you know, it's been a hard-working journey between the three of us in the rehearsal space as well. But yeah, they nail it, and I think you will agree after you see the show tonight. Yeah, I mean, just from the little snippet we heard there during sound check, it sounded pretty awesome already. So I'm looking forward to hearing it tonight. Thank you. Slay, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for the album review. For sure. Me and the guys were over the moon when we watched it. It meant a lot. We really felt it. So thank you for that. No, it's our pleasure. We try our best to kind of don't tend to go for the big massive bands and the big releases. We try and kind of hone in on stuff that maybe people are missing or flying under the radar. And when we heard a couple of tracks from the album, we knew it was within our wheelhouse. And you nailing all the references. You understood it. It's like, these dudes know exactly what this album is about. So. Well, it was our pleasure. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Good luck with the rest of the tour. Thank you very much. I can't wait to hear what comes next. Thank you. We'll see you another time. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Guys.